so much change. So I was going through a divorce. I had recently been divorced. My father, my biggest cheerleader in the whole wide world, had passed. My line sister had just passed from my sorority. I was now a new single mom, right? I had this young child. What do I do? And all of this change I was dealing with, and folks wanted to know how they too could deal with it without cracking up.
Thank you so much for showing up as you are. They say come as you are, right?
Absolutely. I told you I would be here with hair dye, with eyebrows, with whatever is happening, and it is happening. I'm going to look fabulous at the end of it all. But the content is still here, and we are going all in. I will save them, though.
Awesome, awesome. Oh, and by the way, everyone, this is Miss Lolita E. Walker, if you have not yet met her. And she's an amazing woman. So I'm going to allow her to tell you a little about herself and what her mission is.
Absolutely. Well, hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I see some of my friends inside of the audience. Thank you so much for showing up. I am happy that you are here. I am a certified life leadership and executive coach. I'm a TEDx and motivational speaker. I'm a poet. Most of all, I am a mommy of an amazing 9-year-old son. I'm an author. And I am happy to come and talk to everybody today about feeling and owning the power in your pause. I work with women and I work with teams within organizations to really help increase clarity, to help you increase your confidence, and then walk in the commitment of who you are. Because quite frankly, that's the only way that we can shift to action. And I'm all about the action. Right? I'm the owner of Walker & Walker Enterprises, which is a personal and professional coaching and consultancy. And I am in the car today. I'm taking a break from an appointment of self-care in order to come to you all today to talk about this important topic. So thank you so much for having me.
It is such an amazing pleasure. I like having these conversations. They fire me up. So, and I love sharing with others too. So we're here and this is happening. So thank you again, and thank you everyone for joining us. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. All right, so Miss Walker.
Yeah.
I was going through some of your content and I see where it says you are a change champion, right? And you create that change through helping people to shift, right? Shift through the different terrains of change. So in your TEDx talk, which I watched twice, I saw where those three areas were: embrace, act, and thrive. Now, before we get to the embrace and the act and the thrive, can you give us a little background about where you're coming from before you got into empowering others?
Oh, absolutely. I was in corporate for almost 20 years. I've done everything from industrial engineer. My degree, undergraduate degree, is in industrial engineering. My graduate degree is in business. And I had direct reports. I've managed operational teams. I have been in program management. I have been a change champion for transformation. I've moved manufacturing equipment to other facilities in other parts of the country. I've had the opportunity to live in another country. So when I left corporate, when I made that decision to leave corporate, I was in my mini retirement. That's what I love to call it. And in it, what I recognized was, guess what? There's this weight that has been lifted off my shoulders. What is that thing? And as I sat in it and started asking folks about what my strengths were, what I really recognized is that it all came down to me really helping people without judgment on getting to where they want to be and not putting myself in the way, right? Being selfless. And because that's a core strength of mine and I can do that by way of my words and my actions, then I started helping people through change. What they started coming to me for was, hey, you are navigating so much change. So I was going through a divorce. I had recently been divorced. My father, my biggest cheerleader in the whole wide world, had passed. My line sister had just passed from my sorority. I was now a new single mom, right? I had this young child. What do I do? And all of this change I was dealing with, and folks wanted to know how they too could deal with it without cracking up. And I started taking people through a process. And then what I recognized is, if I have a degree in engineering, if I have a degree in business, why wouldn't I get a degree or certification in coaching, what I really want to help people do? And that's what I did. And in it, I started getting really, really clear. This newfound clarity came. So all this self-discovery started happening. And when you walk inside of your purpose, when you find it, and it's that thing that fuels you, then other people are attracted to you because they want to do the same thing, feel the same things. And that's where I find myself now.
Whew. I love it. I love it. I love it. Isn't it magical though when that happens? It feels, it's a completely different feeling. And those of you who are watching, if you don't know what we're talking about, just take some time to get to know who you are and what you are about. But this conversation today is also going to help you with that. So talk to us about what were some of the challenges outside of the things that you just spoke about. What were some of the challenges that you had to overcome in order to create that shift?
Oh, such a good question. You know, some of the challenges, I'll name three. I'm big on three. I think the first challenge was really believing that you could carry people through this process. Even though I had proof, even though I've been told what my accomplishments were, even though I'd seen the results before, it's really now believing in you and trusting that I can absolutely take other people through so that they can see the transformation that I've also seen. It's believing in you and knowing that you are enough and you are worthy of doing this thing because you've demonstrated it. So believing in you, number one, that was the first obstacle to get over. The second obstacle was to move distractions to the side. What I mean by that is, everybody wants to help. So you want to jump into entrepreneurship? There are a million programs that you can take to be the best entrepreneur that you can absolutely be.
Yeah.
You want to make money? Here you go. Invest $10,000 right now, and I'll help you get to something else. So what it is understanding my why, sitting in that, feeling that power, right? Feeling that pause right there and moving everything else to the sideline, right? Clarity plus confidence equals the commitment of how you show up. So that's the second obstacle that I had to, go over. And then the third obstacle, what I would say is really finding the people to be on my train. And when I say that, I oftentimes talk about Lolita's chain train, and we all have one, right? I see Grace, I see so many people here that are here to support. I see Jasmine. Everybody has their own change train. Esther, you have an Esther change train. So imagine yourself on a train. Imagine this beautiful script on the side. Mine says Lolita. And on the side of that, you are the conductor aboard your train. Who are you going to allow on your train? Because you are the conductor. You open the doors, you close the doors. And sometimes everybody is not there for this part of your journey. So sometimes we have to open up the doors and allow people to get off. Sometimes people self-select getting off of your train. Absolutely. And we got to be okay with that. So I think the third obstacle that I had to remember is that I set the pace for my train, and that everybody might not see my vision. Everybody is not my client. I want them to support me. Like, everybody join my Facebook group. I just started it. I started my business, right? What does support look like for me? And everybody can't support you in the same kind of way, right? I could go down a list of a million things, but those are my top three.
Thank you. And those are three good and powerful and important ones. I love your analogy. You are the conductor. You let in who you want to let in. You let off who you want, but you have to know exactly what you want so you can know what kind of people you allow in your space.
Yeah.
Perfectly said. So you went through a number of challenges that got you from where you were to where you are now, right?
Yeah.
How difficult was it to embrace all that you were going through? Because I believe that the challenges that we face are some of the most powerful things in our life, because if we take the time to pay attention, they can give us so much power, right? So how did you manage to embrace all of that, even though it was so much?
I love that question. You know, the three terrains of change that I always talk about, like you said, it's in my TEDx talk, embrace, act, and thrive, are the three terrains of a change. And I can help anybody to get through that. How did I
Right,
embrace it? It's literally standing in my right now. Embracing doesn't mean you have to like it. Embracing means making sure that you are aware of exactly where you're standing right now. You're going through an obstacle or a challenge right now. I'm standing right here, right? You are in this momentary interruption, like this moment. Everybody here is making a choice to be right here, no matter their circumstance. We are not our
right,
circumstance. And when you can shift your mindset to recognize that this is a momentary interruption in my life, I have already gone through the most difficult times of my life, and yet I'm standing right here. When you can look out
right,
of your eyes and look at this renewed perspective out of gratitude, you begin to embrace where you are right now. That means I acknowledge where I am right now. I can say out loud, I am not where I want to be, but I'll tell you what is happening inside of this space right now and where I want to be, right? When you can accept, this is where I am, right, wrong, and indifferent. This is where I am. This momentary interruption, I'm going to take the greatness out of this moment right here and allow it to propel me. And then being okay with sitting in the challenges that are right now, because you're acknowledging those things too.
So is that the pause moment then? Accepting that you're here, is that the pause moment?
Yeah. So when I talk about gifting yourself permission to pause, it is, this is how I like to describe it. You know, sometimes we find ourselves in the midst of chaos, right? So there's this circle, there's this tornado, there's this thing that's happening, and it feels like our mind is so jumbled. There's so much going on. There's so much to do, right? We're moving so quickly. What if we chose to sit right in the middle of that storm? Imagine yourself literally sitting in the middle of that storm, and that tornado is still going around you, but you are planted right here. Imagine all of the distractions that's competing for your time being inside of that whirlwind tornado right there. Imagine you now picking one of those off and dealing with it in that moment right there. Taking things chunk by chunk by chunk. Gifting yourself the moment to pause, the moment to breathe, the moment to sit in your most be-free space, so that you can now get a renewed sense of clarity in how you are now going to see the light, see the door and the way out of that storm. Pause for a moment to allow yourself not to get caught up in the storm, right? I am not my circumstance. I am not my circumstance, but instead, I am sitting in this moment, and I will take a piece out and choose to focus, choose to get clear, so that now that piece that I had taken out now allows me to see a light that I can choose to walk out of, or to keep myself in, so I can stay inside of this moment until I can reset the pace of clarity to where I want to go. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. I understand completely. And it made me want to ask you though, what were some of the lessons that you learned from sitting in that moment?
Ooh, so many lessons, so many lessons. I learned, I like three, so I'll just tell you a couple of things. The first thing that I've learned is that everything is not worthy of your time. Everything is not worthy of your time. And that's okay, right? Priorities to help you get to the goals of where you want to be are so important. Everything is not worthy of your time. That's number one. The second thing is that some negative nouns, that's what I like to call it, will try to enter your space. That is negative persons, places, or things. Negative nouns, right? It is a choice to allow them to exit stage left. It's a choice. And sometimes those are going to be very difficult to do. Sometimes you don't even have to have people to get off of your train or have a difficult conversation, because the reality is when they understand where you want to go, you're focused and you're bringing other people on the train, and they will naturally get off at the next stop. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? That's two. That's the second lesson. And I think the third lesson, after setting your pace, is that, you know, in business, it's going to be important to assess and adjust. So we have a plan. Yep. And sometimes you don't meet your goals, and know that it's okay, because it's okay to assess and to adjust and to celebrate your wins. I'm a fan of vision boards, and I looked on my vision board last year and I'm like, damn, I didn't do that. Oh shoot, I missed that. But guess what? It's not on there. The journey wasn't on there. So where are all of the wins and all of the things you did accomplish on your way to get to that goal? Because you were introduced to some dynamic people who told you, guess what, I have this opportunity right here. So allowing yourself the space and the grace to recognize, right? To recognize that the journey is where the magic is.
Yeah, that is true. I'm going to share a story, right? So I'm having a goal setting workshop tomorrow, right? This is the second one for the year. Mm-hmm. And when the person was building the landing page, he called me, he sent me a message and he said, make a list of the things that you accomplished through setting goals and send them to me. Now, if you look at my vision board, none of the things that are on the vision board were written down, were among the things that I wrote down, right? But when I wrote the list, I literally cried for like 4 or 5 minutes. I cried. I had to get my daughter to hug her because it was so emotional. And I was like, I did not stop to take the time to notice that I had done all of this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But it wasn't on the vision board, but it's so magical to know that even though I did these things, but the things that I've done shows me that I'm getting to the destination. So we have to embrace the journey. So I absolutely love that. Now, so you've embraced, right? And you've learned some lessons. And now it's time to take action, correct?
Yeah, I love it. And Sonia said, celebrate the micro wins. Yes, the micro wins. I love it. And it's, you know, I call them small wins. And one of the things that I do every day is inside of my house, we write up our small win of the day. Every single month, we put up a month board with all of the days that are inside of that month. And every day, every member of the family writes a small win for that day. And at the end of the month, we read that list out. Each person reads that list out because it's so important to recognize that there's value that you bring to the world every day. And there's no judgment, every day, right? There's no judgment in whatever you choose. Sometimes my son is like, oh my God, I had 2 desserts. I am winning. Okay. Okay. Right?
Yeah, I know. But yeah, that is true. But it's something that I'm learning to do because it's not something that I've always done, nor even I wasn't someone who celebrated me at all. So celebrating small wins, that's a step for me, but I'm getting there.
Good.
So now acting. When action time comes, how do you step into the things that you're supposed to do confidently and courageously and without fear? How do you do that?
Yeah, such a good question. Listen, I did not have these questions in advance, but you are just walking me into all of my greatness right here. I love it. Into my wheelhouse. So how do you act? How do you walk into that fear? Well, I write affirmations, right? For people, I have a 40 deck card of affirmations. And one of them is, I am the greatness that others have yet to see, right? I am the greatness that others have yet to see. And what that does is remind you that there is absolute greatness in you. And because they didn't see it yet doesn't mean you stop doing what it is you're doing. You absolutely show up. I have another favorite that said, somebody just texted me and said, what is on your eyebrows? Look, y'all, my eyebrows are being dyed, okay? I'm at the hairstylist. I'm getting my hair color back to platinum and I'm getting my eyebrows brown and done. So I'm just trying to hide it from you guys so you can just see the finished product. But every now and then it peeps into the thing. So I gotta come up so you can see. So that's why my eyebrows are like that every now and again. You see it. Okay. But the other piece is, another affirmation is this. I leap because my faith and my strength have wings to protect my fall. I'm going to say that again. I leap, right? I walk into fear. I leap from where I'm standing right now. I leap because my faith, right? My faith and my strengths. That means you got to know your strengths. You got to be able to say, if I'm going to say I am powerful, well, who told you that? Why do you know that? If you're going to say I'm a connector because of what? Who told you that? What are you demonstrating? Because your faith and your strength have wings that are going to protect you when you fall. You will fall, but you're going to walk into this scared because you know the foundation to which you stand upon. And that's why when I work with my clients, it really starts at the foundation of who it is you are. And you said that earlier too. It's about embracing where I am because you are beyond your circumstance. It's about acting in your strengths because you're aware of what they are and aware of what you bring to the table. And it's about thriving in the greatness of who you are because now you're super clear. You've increased your clarity. You've increased your confidence, and you're walking in your commitment, right? Absolutely.
Wow, that is awesome. I know there are people, I don't know if I hope we don't have any such people listening, but if you happen to be here, I'm grateful that you're here, and I know that a lot of people don't act because they are fearful.
Yeah.
People think, I'm not good enough. Who am I to do this? I'm not smart enough. I don't like the camera. I don't know how to speak. There are so many reasons why we don't show up. And I know you're a change champion. So for someone who is not at a place where you are at, right, where you know your power and you stand in your power from day to day, someone who is shy and not ready, don't feel like they're ready. Let's not say they're not ready because they're always ready if you want to be, right? Someone who don't feel like they're ready to step into that power. What would you say to such a person?
Oh, so good, because I work with so many people just like that. I love that Jasmine said always show up. So that's the first thing, is to remember that you are here for a purpose. Even when you're not at your best, even when you're feeling that I don't have anything to give to the world, what I will tell you is that's a lie. What I will tell you is, who told you that? Because my God didn't tell you that. I didn't tell you that. Who are you around that is telling you that you're not worthy? I need you to start up your train and start moving forward, right? When you are willing to receive in, then you will begin to look at the world differently. Your perspective will change because you have value. Let me tell you this right here. I firmly believe, I know, and I trust that there's always someone that's looking up at us. That means you are a role model to somebody. You are doing better than somebody. So somebody is always looking up at you. Somebody's always looking down at you, telling you that you're not worthy, or being like, who does she think she is? How does she get to be there? Whatever those questions are, somebody's looking down at you. And then there's always people that are ready to walk side by side with you. All right? There's always going to be people there, but sometimes we have to ask the questions that we want to know. So one, walk into it scared. You have questions, ask someone, because we are not here to do it on our own. Life is too short and too hard to be trying to worry and try to get through this stuff by yourself when you don't know the answers. So what I would say to somebody who doesn't feel as though they have something to give to the world, I would say to you, yeah, right. Get your life right. Stand up. I hope you're listening right now. I hope somebody sends this to you, because I want you to talk about what are the strengths that you possess. What are the things that people come to you for? Yes, they are. Whether you believe them or not, that's not the question. The question is, what are people coming to you for? When they're calling your phone, what are they asking you for? That's that innate gift that you already possess that nobody has tapped into yet, meaning you. Right? You haven't even tapped into it yet. What are people asking you? So what I would say to people is really think about, what are people asking me? What are my strengths? I would really start getting into that and understanding those, because then you walk, talk, and behave differently.
Yeah, I love that. That is amazing. I love that, and I tend to ask this of as many guests as possible, because I know that I see it around me every day. People are just not living up to their highest potential, right? And I'm nowhere near there as yet. My goals scare me on a daily basis, but I show up anyway. But I want to help create that bridge so that people can see that it's possible, and you are worthy, and you are okay, you're valuable, there's nothing wrong with you. You got this. So I'm glad that you said that. And now I want to ask you this question. You've embraced your circumstances. You haven't let them define you. You haven't allowed them to hold you back. You started taking action. You started stepping up. You're now facing your fears. You're gaining confidence. You're being bold, right? After doing that for a while, you're going to begin to thrive, right? And I know that thriving can scare people. So that's another thing that can scare someone, and it can even allow people to step back from the progress and the success, because it's new territory, right? So what's your advice for someone when you get to that level, when things will start to happen for you? How do you navigate through the change that your action is going to create?
Yeah, I think stay grounded, stay attached to why you are there. Have people that by now you have people that are surrounding you that will check you in the event you start to veer off track, because they understand what your core values are. When you live in your
Right.
core values, then you walk, talk, and behave in them as well. That matters, right? So now you have people that are on your train that will not only support you and say, yes, you're doing great, but will also say, Lolita, guess what? You showed up like this today. I don't know if you know, but it doesn't feel like you. Are you okay? Right? um that stay grounded in where you are. And quite frankly, we should always be striving to be beyond where we are right now, right? Yes, you have success. Yes, I have success, but where's the next level that I want to get to, that I deserve to be at? How am I challenging myself? And are there people that are doing better than me in my circle? I can't be the top. No, because I got places that I want to go to. I have goals that I want to get to too. So because I'm committed to do that, the people on my train are a plethora of different levels, of different skill sets, and that is what I value. It's about service for me. It's about impact. So remembering your why and staying grounded, I would say, is so important when you are starting to move. And quite frankly, when you are at a table that is very different than where you started, to me, it's so important to look back and pull people up that are trying to get to the levels of where you are, because you are looking for
Right.
somebody to also pull you up. This thing is all about how can I help serve you while I'm also being served myself, because we're all looking to grow. I'm a student every single day, and that's the beauty of this thing called life, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. And the fact that you're a change agent means that you do exactly that.
Yeah.
And that's the very reason why we're having this conversation. So what I love about you, Lolita, is you seem like someone who is always, you're basically living by example, because I was on your live the other morning, and I wanted to raise my hand to come up, but then I was trying to write down the three things that I needed to to answer, and I was too late. But I thought I heard you said you were going for your PhD. Is that correct?
Yes, I am in this particular moment trying to get into a PhD program. So you do hear people around calling me Dr. Walker. They're just manifesting this thing that I want and I desire. So yes, that is a goal of mine in 2022, to be accepted into a program. Lord, come on now.
Dr. Walker is in the building.
Yeah.
So people, you see, she is already successful, but I have this philosophy. if you are alive, if you woke up this morning, then your mission is not complete.
I love
There
that.
is more. There's more expansion for you to do. There's more growth for you to do. There's more people for you to help. So don't ever stop and think that, okay, I'm done. I have accomplished all these things, and I have money, and I this and I that. You're not done. If
Absolutely.
you woke up this morning, you're not done. And Lolita here is a perfect example.
Oh, thank you.
She's done so many things, but still, you're welcome. She is going for a PhD next. So the sky is the limit, right?
Yes.
Not the sky. My thing is the universe is my canvas. So I get to do whatever I want to do. Anything I can dream of, I get to do, right?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
so you are a co-host of Breakfast with Champions, right?
Yes.
And I had the lovely Ramon on here. His energy is infectious. I love him
Right?
so much. Yes, he is. And what I want to ask you is, I've been in a couple of your rooms on Clubhouse, and prior to Clubhouse, I didn't know about this show. What I want to ask you is, what is the mission of the show? Because I know you're a change agent, so it must be in line with something that you do. So what's the mission of Breakfast with Champions?
Ooh, I love that question. So, one, I want to say hey to Eva, who's in Spain. She said, Dr. Walker, it is. Jasmine, I love it. Ricard, hello. All right. So, I want to say hey to you guys who just joined. Now, the mission, so Breakfast with Champions is the morning show or platform to motivate, inspire, and educate, right? On Clubhouse. And Breakfast with Champions, it's amazing that it has just blossomed into so many things. Hashtag Rise and Grind, under the guidance of Glenn Lundy, who is the thought leader of both, is a morning show from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. daily. If you haven't tuned in, then make sure you do us on all social platforms. You can actually see me live as well as a number of other co-hosts. And you're right. I said yes to the opportunity because it is in line with where my goals are. I love that you said that and that you know that. My stylist is calling me in. Like, get yourself together over here. So, you ready?
Okay.
Okay. I'm on my way. So, but the amazing part of it is that the intention is to really gift you with additional motivation, inspiration, and education every single day. The intention is to increase visibility on the thought leaders that are already in the space. It's to showcase talent that might not have ever had any opportunity. It's to talk about things that people want to know. It's to give people a laugh in the morning. It's to bring some positivity and energy to your day. It's to give you some consistency and a reminder that you are standing right here. Let's do something about it.
Awesome. I love that, and I know you have to go, so I'm
Yes.
going to ask you one final
Okay.
question
I do
before
have
you
to,
go.
yes.
How do you stay motivated?
Oh, I stay motivated by talking to people like you, by talking about what it is that I do, by impacting my coaching clients, by speaking opportunities. I stay inspired by really staying connected and in touch, honestly.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Miss Lolita E. Walker. She has to go get her eyebrows done, but I am so grateful that she took the time out to be here with us this evening, and thanks to every one of you who came on to support. I truly appreciate it. Thank you once more, Lolita, and this was a beautiful little chat. And I hope we can do it again sometime when you don't have to.
I know, I'm so sorry. But I am
No
here,
problem.
eyebrows and all, conditioner and all.